now, if you develop a man, right? Because this is a man's game. Let's not forget that. This is a man's game. If you develop the man to do man things, when he gets on the field, that's the product you're gonna have. You're gonna have a developed man. You ain't gonna have no little boy on 4th and 1. You know,
I'm Mel.
And I'm Mar.
And this is the Cerebral Sports Podcast. On the Cerebral Sports Podcast, we champion the mental development, wellness, and health of athletes, big, small, professional, and amateur.
Week to week, we'll have compelling conversations with athletes, coaches, parents, and mental health professionals to discuss their experiences and point of views as we work to bring awareness to the most vital muscle in an athlete's body, the mind.
All right, welcome back to another great episode of the Cerebral Sports Podcast, brought to you by your very own Coach Mel and my man, Mr. Mar. Very happy to be back to it. Very happy to be back on live. I hope all the viewers are tapping in. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you follow us on every other social media or video podcast platform, please tell a friend to tell a friend. Today, we have a very, very special guest, someone very dear to me and also to my co-host here. This man has been on a coaching journey for many, many years. I'm not going to outdate him or make him sound old, but he was a guy who jumped into the game fairly early, played some college football locally here in Long Island, New York, went to high school here at Long Island, New York at Holy Cross, started his coaching journey very early, like I said before. Was not all over the place, but he had quite a few stops. Iona being one of them, right? CW Post, which is now known as the LIU Sharks. Rhode Island, right? For a little bit there. And at Stony Brook, man. And every stop that he made, especially the ones that I'm mostly familiar with, has left a really, really positive impact on the players and the programs that he has been around. So I felt very, enticed, eager, happy, excited to try to get him on the show so he can share some of his experiences as far as how his coaching journey has become, and hopefully spread some light on the mental half of coaching and the mental half of being, one of those guys that are really player friendly. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the world, Cerebral Sports Podcast followers, to Coach King.
Welcome. What's up, guys?
King, my man.
All right. Hey, man. Thank you guys for having me on. Jamel, you too modest, man. I forced you to put me on here, man. So let everybody know that. I forced you to put me on here. But no, it's cool, man. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited for this. You hit all the points, man, where I've been, Northeast guy, and home where I wanted to be for all my career, man. And but just thank you for having me on here, and let's roll, man. Let's get into it.
Right. Indeed, Coach, man. Mel said it all. You're one of my coaches coming up, and he just says something at the end, player friendly. And, for the longest while, the tradition of coaches of yesteryear, they weren't necessarily player friendly. That was considered maybe like a softer coach. If you're a coach, you got to be hard. You got to cuss. You got to be in your face. You're a coach that I felt like we could always come and speak to, bend your ear for a second, give a point of view, and get a fair answer, get an honest answer, and also get some love back at the same time, man. Like, you're very relatable. You have an aura to you that, lends itself to, fatherhood, a connection, a bond, a mentor. Like, that's just your organic aura. And I appreciate you for that. And something that I wanted to ask you is, you've been coaching now for a long time. And I told you before we started, you still looking good, Coach.
Yeah.
Still looking good. Hey, the beard might be a little frosty, but that's wisdom. That's all that is. But you're still looking good. You've been coaching for a while. Have you noticed any changes over the time in the athlete, in the football player, and how they receive coaching, how they receive constructive criticism? Has there been a mentality shift and or change? Have you noticed any type of shift throughout your career?
A little bit. as honestly as coaches, you really try not to dive too far into it and try to say that everything is the same. Um, Nobody has really changed. The game hasn't changed, but if I'm gonna be very candid and honest, man, I believe there has been a shift, and obviously socially, and really just everybody in the world is sort of on edge, so to speak. You know what I mean? And you have to be a little bit more political in some type of arenas. Um, you have to do a great job of using your choice of words correctly, or they could be used against you. Um, Back in the day, man, it was almost like I was just an extension of, the guys and where they're from. I'm from where they're from. And so I carried myself uh, a little bit that way, like one of the guys. Um, but one of the guys with the what do you say, the aura of I'm going to be the adult in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
So one thing that I've always tried to do in my whole career was try to be relatable. And Uncle O for lack of better words, you understand? And sometimes when the young bucks, especially where I'm from, the young bucks, they get around the old heads and they chop it up, have some conversations. You know, the old head is able to, plant some seeds of wisdom and really get the young bucks to understand what's good, what's better, the road to take, the road not to take, yada, 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 man. So, I really try to be like that. And, but it had to change a little bit as I went on because sometimes, your words could be used against you. Um, you know, they, Listen, kids are kids. You got to understand that. We all understand that. Kids are kids. Um, but somebody has to be the adult in the room. So sometimes as a coach, your style does change a little bit. So I went from unk to pops to grandpops. You feel me? So really that's kind of been the transformation. But really trying to get the point across that you could be more than you ever thought you could be, and it comes through hard work, dedication, passion, and really believing in yourself. So that message has never changed. And
Indeed.
I think guys truly understand, when they do have the one-on-ones, things like that, they could figure out where I'm going with it. And my purpose, my drive is to see you grow into a professional, when this is all said and done. So that's been my message. Yes, it's changed on how it's been received, but it's getting, it's receptive. Kids are receptive to it in a way. So.
Well said, Coach. Because I feel like back in the day, and I'm gonna kick it to you right after this, Mel. Back in the day, you get a coach like like let's just say like a Bear Bryant, for example. Whoever played for Bear Bryant got the same Bear Bryant. You know what I mean? Like, but now, like Coach King said, you got to adjust to the times in the world, or else you ain't gonna have no job. You know what I'm saying? Or you will be out of coaching, or you have a scandal in your hands. So great point, Coach.
Right.
Great answer.
But you do, and not to cut you off, but you do have to remember the standard is the standard now.
Indeed.
You have to live at a standard. There has to be an ethos behind what you're doing. But you do have to be careful and pay attention to what you're saying and what you're doing. Yes, Bear Bryant was Bear Bryant.
Yeah.
And he did not care.
Right. But you could do that back then.
You could do that back then. Now,
yeah,
it's tough.
So one of the things that, or should I say, one of the reasons why I became so interested in just the mental half of sport, I think it had a lot to do with what we did when we were at Post, and how we kind of took time out of the week to just speak to just the thoughts and the feelings and what went into preparation before each game. And I felt like that really did play a huge role on the level of success that we had. But when when I became a coach early on, Coach King and I were in charge of putting together videos. This was before Huddle and Exos and all this nonsense. This was tape to tape, USB drive, DVD, all of this stuff. So we had very, very long, extended, nights in the back office conference room putting together things of that nature. But in that time, man, we kind of would discuss a lot of the stuff that we would try to do within the week. And I'm not saying that we created it right at Post, but I want to say that we were a way far ahead of a lot of people that are now starting to implement some of these things when it comes to techniques and strategies to connect with these athletes. I bring this up because I want you to speak to some of those early on thoughts that went on in your mind and how you felt that it connected and how important it was to connect with the athletes to bring out the better athlete each week.
Yeah, man, those were long nights. And, one thing I really tried to, I wanted us to understand that, these kids aren't as mature as we thought they were. You know what I mean? They're big, they're fast, they're strong. But, like I said earlier, they're still kids mentally. And when I watch these big, fast, stronger kids not being able to, one, articulate what we were teaching, you have to go back and evaluate your teaching. Mm-hmm. Then two, if it's a simple skill, well, you have this great athlete and he can't perform a simple skill. What are you teaching as far as, how you teaching the skill? So those things really trigger something in my head, and we used to often talk about it. Is like, performance, and whether it's anxiety, how somebody was raised. You remember back in the day, you don't do something right, you get yelled at, and so you form a fear to get it wrong and things like that. And just noticing those different type of things in our athletes. I felt that should be a change, one inside of us, two inside the kids. And so, those conversations back in the day, we were just trying to find out solutions, man, how to get our kids rolling, man. We were really trying to find ways, to get those guys onto the next level, whatever it was. And, we developed a holistic approach where, we're going to train them academically, athletically and socially. And back then, I really didn't understand what we were getting at. But now, as my career went on, I really understood now, if you develop a man, right? Because this is a man's game. Let's not forget that. This is a man's game. If you develop the man to do man things, when he gets on the field, that's the product you're going to have. You're going to have a developed man. You ain't going to have no little boy on 4th and 1, instead of just sticking it up there. He's, now these kids be trying to bounce the ball out. You trying to get a first down. They trying to bounce the ball out to get a touchdown. Well, no, I need one to keep the chains moving. You understand? And so, just developing those type of, mature athletes, I think that's when you get better athletes, when you have a bunch of men out there. And, it came a lot from those conversations that we had, man. And, we found ways to, train our guys, and it was successful. I ain't gonna lie, man. Mm-hmm. When I first came to Post, man, I think they were under 500, so to speak. And then as coaches, we all got together, man, and we just had these enormous plans to how to get these guys to, get the experience they needed. And then two, put their talent, put their ability, their God-given ability, put it on the field and make it work. And I think, we were able to accomplish that, man, with all those conversations. It started off with the conversation, to be honest with you. Before anything went into play, it started off with those conversations. And, it was like-minded people, right? Everybody wanted to see everybody, get ahead. And we loved that university. We loved the coaching staff. We loved each other. And the kids saw that through us, how we treated one another, the brotherhood, things like that. Come on. You'll never get another staff like that again, man. It was brotherhood. Coach Moore.
Yep.
He's talking about, Savalas Charles earlier, Beef.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Kyle, Coach Hughes, Gibbons, Gil. Gil was like, we made him the centerpiece of it all, man. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
man, you just said something that's so profound. And Mel, I think you might have to put this on a t-shirt. It might be a slogan for the season. I mean, I'm not sure what percentage of the profits that Coach King got to get, but we want to develop you into a man off the field so we can have men on the field. That is different. And that is that I never looked at it like that. And man, that really hits home because when you think about it, when you first get on that field, and all the athletes know you first, I don't care how good you are, you could be 5-star. You show up first day of camp, practice, Bama, Georgia, South Carolina, you are scared. Because it's guys out there older than you, bigger than you, faster than you, guys you done read about, watched, et cetera, et cetera. You are scared. So you go from being a boy to a man on the field, you perform differently.
No doubt. And here now, we're in the day and age of the transfer portal and everything else. You got these kids coming in as freshmen expecting to start, right? Expecting to start before they done anything. And like you said, they walk in the first day in camp, you're doing some type of tackling drill, some hitting drill, and these kids got, the fear of God in their eyes, bro.
Hey,
this dude got kids, this dude got a beard, this dude got tattoos all over his neck. You know what I mean? He looked like a gang member, and I got to go against this dude. Come on, bro.
Hey, look, they always say you can't play boxing. They might have to start putting that on football too, because you can some positions, especially we ain't playing. Like it ain't a joke, it ain't a game. And you organically kind of led into another question that we have for you, or we want to discuss is like the current event or the current state of college and collegiate sport and football with the transfer portal. Like how you feel about that change and kids being able to just pick up and go where they want to go, at a moment's notice. How you feel about that change?
Well, Marlon, as you know, there's levels to everything. You know what I mean? There's levels to everything that we're doing. Do I think that is fair? There's always a reason why somebody might want to leave or transfer schools, and I get that. And you know what? It's not all bad that they have implemented this thing. It's just, the drastic rates. Once again, I'm a guy for the players, man. I'm a players guy. The players that we've had go into the portal, it hurts my heart to see them walking around campus. They're no longer with our team. You know what I mean? But they just sitting in the portal, bro. When you could be working out with us, developing, getting bigger, stronger, instead of, going to class and then going right back to your dorm room. So I feel bad for them that are just sitting in the portal that haven't been picked up yet. Right? Like if there's a coaching change or your coach decides to leave, I get it. Yeah. Why not be able to transfer, right? But then on the flip side of that, you got transfer portal and you got another T word right now in today's game. You got another T word. It's called tampering.
Yeah. Coaches, yep.
Now they tampering. So now you got a kid probably happy with all his boys. Like they formed that bond that you needed, right? And they go to class together, they eat together, they live together. And now somebody gets a phone call, they getting tampered with, like, so-and-so said you might have an opportunity there. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then they might get picked up by that other school. You got to start all over again, right? Or two, that might not have, worked out. They told you that. They told him that. They told him that. They told four other guys the same thing.
True. Very true.
So now one decides to commit, and now you sitting in the portal because you thought you was out. The phone calls that happen, behind the scenes. Week 8, week 9 into the season, you caught a call. Come on, man. What is that, man? What we used to say back then, all in commit.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What happened to commitment, man?
How about what happened?
Go ahead.
I don't know, but forgive my part of my ignorance. What happens if you enter the portal?
You in. That's it. Scholarship done.
And you get stuck in the portal.
You done. Figure it out.
So you gotta go find a home. Now I done entered the portal, right? Nobody came and got me. Now I'm just out in the wild. I'm butt naked in the wild. I gotta go find somewhere to live at.
Right.
Yep.
That's it.
Now technically you're really not done until the university or compliance director puts in a roster deletion. Right. So you might have a grace period.
You can get lucky.
It depends on the coach.
Got you.
I'm
sorry, coach. Take me back. Yeah. I ain't need it.
Yeah. And then you got to go walk around with yoke on your face.
Hey, man, hold up. But Coach King is one of them coaches you're going to call first. Like, hey, coach, man, I messed up.
Talk to the head man for me real quick.
Talk to that, Coach King, one of the first calls.
Get back in there. He got the look on his face like he done made that call.
We got that call before.
Hey, but look, you know what's crazy though, Coach, man? And the thing that college sports is supposed to be about, right? And I get the transfer portal. I do think it's a little bit of a wild, wild west right now. The NCAA needs to come up with some more rules to make it kind of a little bit better managed, right?
Yeah, sure.
The one thing that I feel the transfer portal, it does a disservice to college sports in the sense of college sports is supposed to be the place where you find that bond and that family.
Correct.
Right. And it's not so much, and we're going to touch on another thing in a second, but we understand it's a business, right? College is a business. Everything runs like a business. But outside of all the things that go on behind the scenes, in that locker room and on that field, it's the best feeling that you have knowing that everybody in that thing is together and we're working for a cause of winning or becoming a better program, whatever. The minute you have this option to try to get out of there, right, it has to deflate the locker room. It has to, even when players become the star, right? So say a kid came in mid-level player but has a great season, right? And you're at an FCS level school. Oh, I could play FBS. Now you got a kid that's not even really focused on what we're doing. You got a kid that's looking at something completely opposite of what the program is about.
Like alignment now.
Yeah, that's hard to coach, right? That's hard to kind of get everybody on the same page. And I'm looking at it from the FCS level, from the Division II and the FCS level. I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, some of these programs that were really stable are not stable anymore.
No.
Right? Even from the FBS level, some of these schools that have like really been on point, they're not on point no more. And the coaching and everything stayed the same. So what the hell is it? And it's making more sense. The lack of commitment from that you're going to get from your players will ultimately affect the outcome of how your team's going to perform.
No doubt. It's funny because I talked to my guys, and I forgot what game we were playing. Oh, we were about to play a rivalry game. We were about to play Albany, and we play for the Golden Apple Trophy, right? And so I'm in the room, and in my room, subsequently I had 2 transfers in my room. They were cool. They, went through a whole season with them, went through the ups and downs with them, being new players and everything. But I felt really compelled, man. I really felt that God, it was almost like a church message that came flowing out of me, man, because tears almost flowed out my eyes because I'm looking at it and all these different things. I'm like, college football, what made me fall in love with college football was the pageantry, were the rivalries, were the love for the locker room, the brotherhood, the camaraderie. I mean, that's why I fell in love with the game. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like waking up on Saturday morning, rolling out of bed, and you got a purpose. You got a purpose. You're going somewhere collectively as a unit to really go kick somebody else's ass, right? They practice too, right? They work out too. They're trying to beat you. What's better than that in competitive sports? What's better than that? And then when you get the history involved in it, like you start talking about all the years that this school won that trophy, this school won that trophy. And what's better than having that be a part of your life?
Right.
You know how many people growing up will never feel that? Just that simple thing that, a lot of us athletes take for granted, be honest with you. Some people in this world will never feel or understand what that feels like. You driving into, get ready for a game. You got people mowing their lawn. Those are things I look at all the time. So I fell in love with football, and I had to tell her, I was like, yo, football was like a romance novel for me that I was willing to read. And I don't read that much. Shamefully, I don't read enough. I read your book, though.
Yo,
I read your book, though.
Look at the segue. We're gonna get to that. We'll get to that in a second. We're gonna pick that up in a minute.
Hey, Coach, I'm still waiting.
Also, it was like, football was that, that chick flick that I was willing to watch. And it'd be little things. It'd be the Friday night tips we used to do on the road at CW Post. Bro, that joint bring tears to my eyes, man. Because you putting all that inside of you and you about to go crack heads with another color, another color jersey, another color helmet, man. And we about to do this thing together. But now I don't know if we get enough of that love for the game anymore, because it's turning into me instead of we.
You know that business aspect. It's turning.
It's too much business.
Too much business now. On a player side. Whereas back in the day, it was more just pride, your colors, your set. I'm repping this. Now it's more so like, all right, this ain't going that smooth. I'm meeting challenges. I'm up out of here, man. Like, what's next? Like, where can I go next? Or, on a higher level, what market or what school or team I can get the most, money for going there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you can have all you need in this one place, right? You can have all you need, but you're looking for more.
Yeah.
So now you're not looking at all that you got.
Yeah, you're right.
And a player, and no cap, long time ago, shoot, it's about 10 years ago, player said to me, now I hated this kid when he started, when he was a freshman. Hate is a strong word, but like, I ain't like this kid. He's a kid, linebacker out of California. I ain't like the kid. He was, arrogant, basically I was doing signals and he was supposed to put up the personnels of what's on the field. And I'll be having them do it, and he didn't want to turn the thing and all that. So he and we didn't like each other. But then obviously, he started to grow. He started to mature a little bit. He got better. He started playing, yada, yada. And then him and I just started vibing. We started vibing. And then one day he taught me, of all people, he taught me the grass is greener where you water it.
Mm-hmm.
A player that I like, honestly, if they would have let me, I would have, I could have put hands on boy. You feel me? But that disconnect turned into love at the end. And he taught me that the grass is greener where you water it. And I took it and ran with it, bro. It changed my whole mindset. It changed my whole. Now I know why I'm loyal to a T. I'm loyal to a fault, bro. You know, some of these places I've gone, I've been there, you know, I stay too long. You know what I mean? Because it's all about the process, it's all about the people, and it's all about what we say we want to do. All right, here's the process. Let's get after it and let's get it done. You know, that's what's really important to me. That we set out to do something, like we set out to do this podcast. Let's get it done.
Indeed.
Let's do it the right way.
I love what you said, and I would be none less of a businessman without using that segue all the way through. The book that Coach King was talking about,
I ain't get a copy of,
is the Mindful Workbook for Athletes. You can find it on Amazon. All right, it's in Barnes and Nobles. If you need it, you can hit me up on the messages. We'd be more than happy to ship you a copy. Marlo, yours should be in the mail. Did you move?
That's what we gonna do right now. Hey, Coach, like you said, I feel like I can put hands on him, Coach. I feel like
Hey, let's
listen. That book is great because it's tangible ways of training the mentality.
Yep.
Like we say, hey, coach. A lot of coaches do this. We just say, hey, do this, do that, do this. All right, now how do I do it?
Right.
How do I do it? This dude, they put together tangible ways, things that I'm like, I should have been using this years ago, bro.
Mel, what's the title of the book, man?
I said it, man. You didn't hear it? You should have it in the mailbox. It should be there. It's the Mindfulness Workbook for Athletes. It's the mental check-in, right? Mental check-in. So exactly what Coach King says. It's a playbook. You can use it. You can go through it slowly. You can skip around. You can find something that fits just what you are working towards for that week. You can. It's a journal. You can write it in there. There's motivational quotes that are in there as well that kind of give you some more inspiration. There's a lot there, man. There's a lot that I would love for you guys to tap into if you have the chance. Another good thing, though, I want to segue a little bit because you were talking about just the love of the game and football and being a business. The other thing that's really, really, really a hot topic right now, right, is this pay for play, right? These guys, these quarterbacks that are now entering the portal after, only losing one game because they know they're going to get $2 million up the road. And where they are right now, getting $500,000 ain't enough. And I'm all for, hey, make your money. I'm money making Mel. I like money. That's just what it's about. But when it starts to interfere with the things that I love, like the sport itself, I think that's also something that we need to really talk about, man. And I'm not at that level. I'm at a junior college level. My guys, we don't have money. With peanut butter jelly sandwiches, not even jelly, just peanut butter sandwiches. I know.
Like don't give them a banana, bro.
Nah, it's a wish sandwich. Wish you had some damn jelly.
Wish something. But I know at the level that you are and the levels that you know of, talk to us a little bit about how that works and what that looks like at those levels.
Yeah, I mean, really, shoot. You have to have a collective. You have to have some type of collective. And basically, those guys that really are worth it, you have to entice them with something. You know what I mean? And now on the bigger levels, man, it's almost like that movie Blue Chips. When you come with the bag full of money, it's almost it's like that now.
They're just dropping it.
They're just dropping it. You got old boy from. What's the wide receiver from Ohio State?
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harris Jr.
Yeah, like he stands to make more money in college, instead of going to take a rookie contract in the NFL. You know what I mean? So is live and well. Like you said, I'm all about somebody, being able to monetize their gift, so to speak. But to what extent, right?
Yeah.
What extent, are you selling yourself to the devil? You know what I mean? Could this lock you into an unfavorable situation? You make a wrong decision to go to the wrong place, a place that doesn't fit you. You know, so all these different things, you know. So as far as what it looked like, really, I can't speak to that much to what it looks like from the FCS level because it's not big money. You know, it's not as big as, you know, those Power Five schools, but it's there. You know, you have schools. It all started off with cost of attendance. You know, you give out the cost of attendance, and based on, you know, what it will cost a regular student to go to school, they'll get, you know, they'll match it, so you can have some bread in the pocket. But you know, listen, man, I was a walk-on running back at Hofstra University. I ain't had no bread, man. I ain't had no money. You know what I mean? And so, listen, sometimes you got to work hard to get what you want, right? You know,
Yeah,
my last year in college, man, I was working a security job, you know, just letting everybody into the complex, just letting them in because I'm tired, man. I'm just letting them in, you know, but you know, a lot of people right now, you know, that pay for play is a sore subject to some, you know what I mean? Because not everybody has the same,
Yeah, the field
you
ain't
know,
level.
they're not on the same level.
Field ain't level. Coach,
And
what
now
would
and now you and now they're fighting against one another. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
there's so much hating going on right now.
yep.
what would you
You
say
know?
to a player? What would you say to a player that confided in you, right? And came to you and like, Coach, I could go make 2 mil if I, go here. What should I do? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you advise if you had a nephew or a family member, the situation that they're in? It's a good situation, maybe not fantastic. Maybe it's not the biggest school,
Sure.
right? They had a good season. Now, a bigger school's coming at them like, hey, come this way. We got some car dealers that would love to throw you some NIL.
Right.
What do you tell a kid, like realistically?
Yeah, realistically, you got to do what's best for you and your family. And at the end of the day, so this is what I leave everybody with. You know, when you become, you know, I'm 47 now. When you become 47, 48 years old, you know, or before, you might have that realist conversation with you versus you. You're going to look in the mirror, or you're going to sit there and you're going to keep it a whole buck with yourself. You're going to want to say, job well done, when you talk to yourself. Because trust me, I've I have some regrets. You know what I mean? I know I could have did more in some situations. And when I had that conversation with myself, you know, I'm like, damn, son. Like, yeah, you should have did. You know what I mean? Like, you messed up, bro. Like, is that I'm telling you, at some time, at some point, you're gonna say, I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with myself. So honestly, not too many people are gonna pass up no $2 million. You feel me?
Right.
I don't care if you living good now. You probably just take $2 million. But there's nothing wrong with that. You betting on yourself, right?
Yeah.
You just got to go get it done. That's all I could say, man. Just go get it done. You know, I truly believe that God has created man to survive, and not just to survive, but to thrive as well.
Mm.
So, you know, when the first Adam was put on the earth, you know, how he know that if I pick this leaf up and eat it, you know, I will have nutrition and I won't die, you know what I mean, of hunger. All right, what is hunger? You know, yada yada yada, man. So, you know, the caveman, you know, how do if I kill this boar and cut it open and eat it raw or make a fire, you know, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so we all have those natural instincts. So, you know, but if you are going to bet on yourself, you got to make it work, or you're gonna be on the outs just like everybody else, man.
Yeah. Great point, Coach. Great point.
Yeah, man. All right, so the NIL deal for the FCS level is not as, I guess, a problem for you guys as much as it is for the FBS level schools, but it's still very much there.
It is there is and it's just like anything else, is the have and the have not, to be honest with you. So if you do have it to give, then kids might choose those schools. So now it's becoming more prevalent in the last few years when the NIL really started. It's becoming more prevalent than it has in the past. So now there's schools that really have collectives and can hand out money. So if you're trying to get a solid transfer, you know, you're trying to get that beast of because everything's trickle down now, right? With the transfer portal, everything, the high schools, the high school students are being affected. So you probably have some, 3-star kids that are going to FCS schools. You might get a 4-star. Who knows? You're gonna have to have something to give to that kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, because you don't want to play against them, do you? You don't want to play.
Coach King, man, I'm at a non-scholarship junior college.
Sure.
Okay, and it's hard, and we're not even talking NIL. We're just talking a little bit of money, against the lack of. You can see the difference is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's absolutely. It's gotten worse. You can see the difference, like that much of a gap it's become.
Right.
One thing I wanted you to talk to us about, man, because I know we kind of brushed on it briefly in the beginning, but I don't think we gave you enough time to talk about your journey, man. Like, give us a summary of why you coach. What drove you. Obviously you said your purpose, but how you got to where you are right now. Like, I think the listeners are deserving of hearing that story, man.
That's cool.
And I want to, if there's some Hofstra film, if you got it, you know what I'm
saying? They burnt all that, man. They burnt all that. Shoot. Yeah, I wasn't much. But really, after Hofstra, back in '98, I did not finish my degree. And I had I was leaving school and I wasn't doing anything. And I started, I was doing more of that security work. And my best friend growing up, he said, won't you get into coaching? You've always coached. Like, even when we were playing football on the side of the street by the house, you would tell us you wanted it done a certain way. And we would have to run your plays and yada, 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 right? He said, as a kid, you was doing that. Won't you go to your high school and try to coach? So I was like, you know what? I never really thought about that. And so I just gave my high school coach a call out of the blue at Holy Cross High School. My high school coach is Tom Pugh, and he put me on staff, had me doing the running backs, and that parlayed into that parlayed into an offensive coordinator position. And he just saw more in me than I saw in myself. So during that process, I had went back to school and everything, to try to finish up. And what he was saying to me then was like, you could do this even further. So my mindset was like, when I'm going to get this degree, and then I'm going to just become a high school coach like you and become a teacher, and that's how I'm going to live. Honestly, I probably should have went that route because these high school coaches make some dough, bro. I mean, yeah. But I chose the vow of poverty, and so next thing, one day, one of the defensive coordinator at Iona College came by to recruit the school, and somehow they got to talking, and he told me that, listen, there's a running back job opening at Iona College, and I think you'll be great on that level. So I wasn't even thinking of college football, and like bro basically kicked me out the door and said, get out of here. Mm-hmm. And you're going to cross that bridge and go to Iona College. So, one thing led to another. Fred Mariani gave me my first college job in 2001. This is right after 9/11. Um, he put me on. I didn't know what I was doing. He helped me create. He trained me how to become a professional. The things that I learned, being with him, and back then Iona was a 1AA school, but we called it an overglorified Division III school because we didn't have scholarships either. You know what I mean? But we were on the Division I level, so to speak. We played in the MAC conference, and so that led me. We had some good runs up there. Made a lot of connections and everything, and then old Frank Cimenti, Chimo. For those that know Chimo, he was a coach at LIU at the time, CW Post at the time. And he saw me at a clinic, and I spoke at a clinic, and next thing you know, he grabbed me up and had Coach Brian Collins give me a call about an open position on their staff, and I didn't know what to expect and everything. But even back then, so it's funny. Back then, CW Post was Division II. But they had the biggest men I've ever seen. Like, bro, looked like a Division I football program, bro. I couldn't believe it. And they was Division II. And long story short, I go there, interview, got that job. I stayed there for 5 years. So I was at Iona for about 2001 to 2007. And then I went to Post in 2007. And stayed there to 2012, and that's when I met all you guys. Great relationships that last forever.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And then after that, I still wasn't making no money, but credit to Coach Collins, he did all he could for me. Had me doing film. Had put me in charge of the academic success program. We did ACE. All those different things to get me extra money, things like that. But then at the time, I'm trying to raise a family as well. I had to, I was like, listen, I probably got to look for another job. And so I tried to get into home remodeling. Long story, yeah. I was going to get out of coaching and do home remodeling. And long story short, I sabotaged that job interview. On my resume, I put nothing but football, and I had other jobs before, bro. like for real. But I told my wife, listen, and she might see this. I told my wife, yeah, I'm going for this interview. I'm gonna try to knock this job. I sabotaged that job. Yeah. Then it's like, yeah, we're gonna go another direction. We can't hire you or whatever. So I told my wife, hey, I gotta go back to Post,
I tried.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
Playbook down on his resume. He had the playbook.
No doubt. But no doubt, like, so out of the blue, though, for real, it's funny how God works. Out of the blue, one of my boys called me. He was coaching at Wisconsin at the time. He had a friend up at Rhode Island. And Rhode Island, they was going through a coaching change. And he was like, yo, would you be able to coach wide receivers? I'm like, yeah, I'm a coach. I ain't coached wide receivers not one time ever. I played it when I was younger.
Yeah.
But yo, man, I freak nicked that thing, bro. I went in that interview, I didn't sabotage that one. So I freaked that interview, and the head coach there was Joe Trainer, and he gave me a job. He gave me an opportunity, man, my first Division I job. And I kind of, knew that, they didn't have a great record. So, I had to be leery. So what happened was I left, I told my family to stay back here in New York, and I traveled up to Rhode Island. I lived in the office. Me and two other cats, two other GAs. I was restricted earnings, but it was more money than I've ever made. And I made it work for a year. We got let go in November. And so when we got let go, man, I was back down I-95, man, headed home. And I came home and, trying to figure out what's next, what I'm gonna do. Next thing I know, my checks had ran out. They weren't coming in no more. So I had one foot in the door to go into unemployment over in Smithtown. And as soon as I put one foot through that door, my phone rings. And normally, I'm looking at the phone number. It was like, a Connecticut number. So I was like, damn, the bill collectors can't wait, bro. They trying to get me, man.
I ain't taking this.
For real. Like, so normally I'm trying to, I'm screening my calls. I'm like, yeah, I ain't answering that day. I'm like, but something said, answer that phone. When I answered that phone, it was Chuck Priori from Stony Brook that had called me, man. And
Wow.
he was like, bro, I might have something for you. I was like, whoa. I mean, I'm going into unemployment.
Wow.
And so he gave me a job. 2014 season. I was a defensive assistant, never coached defense. And he put me in charge. He had me help out with the safeties. But it helped my career because it gave me the opportunity to look at football and look at offenses through a different lens, through the defensive lens. You know what I mean? So that was a blessing in disguise. And then obviously the year after, I became the running back coach, and I've been doing the running backs ever since. So not as long as some other people, but I guess one of the best things about my journey is not having to go too far away from home. Although I tried, growing up, I wanted to live in the South where my mom was from. She was from North Carolina. My dad was from Georgia. So I always wanted to go to school in the South. I wanted to go work in the South, live in the South. But you know what? My roots was up here. My family was from up here. And just, I'm one of the anomalies. I really never had to move that far away from home to coach at a high level of football.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna tell you to prepare yourself, man. Keep your bags ready. You said it before. You 47. You got a coaching left, though, Coach.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be more fruitful opportunities to come your way, and you never know. They might be down. They might be down south. And
you're right.
So stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, baby.
Oh, you're right about that. Facts. Appreciate that.
That's a beautiful career, and it's a testament to just relationships.
Yeah.
And your brand. I had a conversation with a mentor last week, and he said, yo, everything that you do reflects on your brand. This is what you carry. And the fact that your phone always rings, man, you can never go hungry, man. You always have bread on your table, man, because you got a brand.
You're right about that.
Man, for sure. Salute to you, Coach, and your career.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for sharing that with us too, man. I know, like I said, we were going through the show. I'm like, man, people don't even know who you are. They don't know the journey yet. We should have got that done a little earlier, but
I like how it happened, though, Mel. It happened at a good spot. Like, I feel comfy. I feel like I need a cup of cocoa or something like that. That was Coach King, a good storyteller, man. Like, he's smooth.
Yeah. Nah, that was long. I tried to make
I was enjoying
that was good. That was captivating.
I was enjoying that.
That was captivating.
Crazy because, honestly, I grew up in Queens, New York, man. And
what part of Queens, Coach?
What's that?
What part of Queens?
I was at Cambridge Heights. I was right across from y'all in Omar. I was right across. So y'all was on one side of the cross island. I was right on the other side, 2 blocks away from the cross island, man. So, just I can't imagine, and there's so many people that come up from Queens and Brooklyn, yada, yada, yada. But, just to have the kind of life I've had, coming from where I came from, and it's not that it was bad where I came from, but just, the ability to do something great and not really feel like I had to work. You know I worked my ass off, but I ain't have to work, man. Because at the end of the day, look who I'm talking to people like you guys, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just to, you from where I'm from and to see what y'all doing now. My man, come on, y'all wrote a book, you in advertising, like, come on, for real. Like, I had a chance to get connected with brothers that share the same love, you know what I mean? And it all happened through a game. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's
But you also gotta, and this is something that you gotta know, and I think all the coaches that do this profession, man, it's like you have an opportunity to mold and develop, right? Not a lot of people, professors at schools, yeah, they teach you, they
Yeah,
give you some tools, they give you some information, and then you're free to go after the semester's over. But with coaches, man, like there's a responsibility that we carry,
sure.
and it's a job that we do where you fully mold the person, not for the immediate. You do for the immediate, for the wins and the losses, but that mold is like forever lasting, man.
Right.
And then for us, we go out here. You know, you coach me, right? So now I'm going out here and I'm taking some of the things that you taught me, and I'm teaching these young men, right? So we're passing down wisdom from generation to
don't
generation.
stop.
To
They
generation.
don't stop.
Right.
But that's what we're supposed to do, man. So, you know, I know there are coaches that believe, you know, it's all about the wins, it's all about the money, it's all about the fame, it's all about the success, but it's really not.
Right.
The wins come in these kind of conversations, being able to Coach King ain't coached me since 2007. Right? We in
Hey,
2023, man.
No doubt.
We still have a little bit of a connection and a listen. Like you still got my ear. You know, I'm
Wow.
still paying attention. I'm still learning from the things that
hey, he's still Coach King to me. Like we talking to him, and I ain't looking at you like, yo, let's go grab a drink. I'm looking at you like, yo, that's Coach. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
we can
Like you
still go grab a
talking and
drink.
I'm
We
listening.
we can still grab
Yeah,
a
we
Go
can,
and
drink.
grab a drink. We
we
still
can
gonna
You
do
you
that.
old enough now.
yeah. Well, I'm listening to you, and I'm 18, 19 again. You know what I'm saying?
I
Listening to
feel
you.
you.
Like so, yeah. Nah, what Mel's saying is definitely true, bro.
Yeah.
Like it,
That's our responsibility, man. That's the stuff that mentally helps us stay together and keeps us whole, man.
No doubt.
And
And we always talk about, the X's and O's and the Jimmys and Joes. And it goes back to, developing that man, that holistic approach. It always goes back to that holistic approach. Man, the X's and O's don't work if the Jimmys and Joes don't work. Let's keep it real, bro. Like you could draw all these nice plays. You know what I mean? You could have it. I mean, you could on paper, you could have the defense nailed. I'm an offensive guy, so I'm always talk offense. But on paper, I could have that defense nailed. RPO this. I'm a, run the ball through that gap, da da da. But if I don't prepare that man, that mental, the physical part of him, the mental part of him, you know what I mean? Keeping them out of trouble. That's where the social part comes in. If I don't develop that or train that, you that X is that X and O is going to be a crumbled up piece of paper thrown out the window.
yeah,
That's what that's going to be because it don't matter. So that's where the Jimmys and Joes are more important than the X's and O's. And I've really learned to value that in my career path. So let me take this back. And really happened that posting, sitting in the back conference room, you know, hanging with the bros, watching Gil. I don't want to tell what Gil used to do to them kids, man. No, I'm just
we were one of those kids, coach.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't want to put Gil on the stand here. You know what I mean? But you know what? It really, man. Honestly, it almost got me tearing up just thinking about it. I really think my my shift in my brain changed dealing with guys like you. Because honestly, you allowed us to talk with you, right? Right now, it's hard to get a kid to sit down more than 5 minutes and give him a dissertation or or just to have a talk. Right? It's not easy like it used to be. But back then, having those conversations, when I had a shift, and I said, you know what? This ain't about me, bro. When I first got into the game, I ain't gonna lie. It was about what can I get out of it?
Yep.
How can I become the next Nick Saban? Yada yada. You know what I mean? How can I be great? I want to be this great coach. You know, I want I want to probably beat my own dog on chess, right? That's natural. I learned to, forgive myself for that. That's natural. But when I had a shift, and mainly because of guys like you guys, let me pour more into those guys. It's about them. It's about these kids. It's about these kids. You know what I mean? To where, like I said, I have regrets, right? How do you teach these guys not to go down the same road you went? Or how you teach them how to take the right road? And I tell the kids all the time, I know all the roads. I know what's down the right road. I know what's down the left road. I know what's straight down the middle. I know what every avenue looks like. Here's what you need to do. You ask me what do I say to the kids? That's how I phrase it. I know all the roads. I know the roads that will, get you regret. I know the roads that will get you to the great reward that you're looking for. I know all the roads. You know what I mean? And when I took that, to me, my career changed. My career changed when it really became about the kids. When it became about you guys. Man, I look at Mel with his son. I mean, the cutest boy I've seen. I can't believe it. This frugal, like he talk about he frugal. This frugal son of a gun has to, his Pradas turn into Dollars.
Oh my God.
His
Yeah.
Pradas is Dollars now, man. But he a pops and everything, bro. He's a husband, bro. This is what we was talking about, man. This is what we was talking about way back then. Way back then. These are the conversations we were having. Mm-hmm. And this brings me joy to see where you guys, I mean, you got your own podcast, you guys vodcast, I'm sorry. This is amazing to me, bro. Because it's like all my words looking back at me.
Wow.
That's what it is, man. It's all my words looking back at me.
We appreciate that, man.
For sure, man. That's profound right there, Coach.
It's crazy.
Coach, and it's amazing, and you're right, but you got a lot more work to do and a lot more ahead of you. So questions I want to ask you, let's project you 5 to 7 years from now. If you could have it your way, where would you be? What would you be doing in the coaching realm?
In the coaching realm, I mean, I'll probably, who knows, man. I'll probably be a head coach somewhere. Okay. You know what I mean? What I've learned, Marlon, is that I accept. I'm more spiritual. I'm a little bit different than when you first met me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I've really became more faithful to God and what Jesus Christ has done for me, and I've become more tapped into that part of it, and using football as a ministry, not necessarily to preach God into everybody's ear, but allow him to use the grace and mercy that he gave me, allow me to use it for others that need the same type of grace and mercy and need somebody to talk to, somebody with a different type of wisdom, not just worldly wisdom. You know what I mean? Because the world could tell you you need to do it this, that, and the third way. But I come from a different, realm, and you never know who's going to need it at that time. Makes sense. So, I mean, I could see myself, being the head coach. There's a lot of responsibilities. That's why Jamel, when he's doing what he's doing, we talked about it. I commend you so much, because I have taken that eye to really evaluate and learn from the head coaches I've been around. Man, there's so much on those guys' plates, man. I feel bad. So everybody talks about, not to, curve, but like what happened with Joe, with the San Diego Chargers last night.
Yeah, booted.
You know what I'm saying? He got booted. I feel bad for him because come on, I know they coach their. I have a friend on that staff. Like I know they coach their ass off, and I know they good coaches, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, it didn't go in their favor.
It's like that sometimes.
It's like that sometimes.
It's like that sometimes, and that's in coaching, that's in the professional field, corporate, whatever have you. Some fits just don't fit for whatever reason. It's God bringing you somewhere else. Like you're gonna have something else that's better for you.
Right. So with all that, saying all that to say that I've learned to really choose the assignment that I'm being placed in, and whatever the next assignment or whatever assignment God has for me, from here to then, I'm gonna choose to accept it and run away with it. You know what I mean? So either which way, I'm gonna be great. You feel me?
Yo, you know what's crazy? Like I know you say you're more spiritual now, but I feel like you always had
same. You probably didn't see it, but I saw it too.
Word, like it was one of those things too, and I think coaches should hear this and understand it. It's like a calm, right? It would be chaotic, right? We would be in absolute chaos. We would be struggling, losing, challenging. You would just have that same natural positive energy to you, right? And I think that does come from it comes from the coverness that you have from your faith and everything. But it speaks volumes to just people that have the fortune to be around you.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm never worried about you or what you got going, because I know you always move in the right way with off the right frequencies. But definitely you need to know that, right? You talk about how reflecting it is, like that's something that you need to know as well. And I take a lot of that into my every year coaching, because I'm in chaos all the time. People like, how do you do it? I'm like, man, just move, man, move in faith, man. Just be positive.
That's why I commend you, bro.
Yeah.
I know, when the chips are stacked up against you, man. I mean, because I think I forgot when it was. I asked you, how you done it so long. I asked you how you did it, like, because it's crazy. Like, I know how hard it is, and I commend you. And you were able to be successful.
Yeah, because I keep the message with the same thing. I do it for the kids.
No doubt.
I had that same, my first few years of coaching, the same thing you said. It was about me. I want to be great. I want to be. And then when I got to the spot that I'm at right now, I looked around. I realized that these young men need so much.
They need you, man.
About me. It can't be about me. I can't worry about me because they need so much. So I'm just going to do it for these kids. And honestly, that helps the process of being so hard, right? It's like, damn, it's hard. But these little kids, these guys, this kid's pops in jail for life. This kid, lost his mom and dad when he was 12. This kid don't have nowhere to live. This kid don't have food. What am I complaining about? It's hard. It's hard. You know what I mean? Like, let me get back to where it's at. But again, I took that from what you guys did. My mindset and the way I function comes a lot from where the stuff that you taught and the example that you set. So, it's important for us to have these conversations, podcasts, right? Because there are plenty more people that are out there just like us that may need to hear it and have that extra, reassurance that they're doing it the right way. So I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm proud. I'm gonna say it. I'm proud of you, right? I'm proud of you for everything that you've accomplished.
Same here, man. Same here for you guys.
I'm thankful that you had the opportunity to jump on the podcast with us, man. And I definitely want to make sure that we keep this thing rolling. One last section we do have, though, right? Current events. We got current events, and I'm gonna try to get this out before the week is up, and it's Friday. So Dale, if you still listening, man, we gotta get this thing edited out quickly. We got
Get it going, Dale.
We got FSU out, right? We want to touch on that. Your thoughts? We from New York, so we got Big Stony. All right, Cortland's playing in the next 2 hours for the national championship for D3. I got 5 young men on that team right now, so I'm very happy about that. I'm about to go watch.
Don't hurt your shoulder, patting yourself on the back, coach.
We'll see my guys show up and show out. Rashad Tucker, Vinny Winey, Jenny Martinez. You know, I got guys over there, and then you got UAlbany Final Four. So we got 2 big New York SUNY schools rolling. Right. Let's start off with FSU, man. What's your take on it?
Feel you.
I don't want the politically correct answer either.
No.
Give me time. We covered it by guys.
That's how we started this thing, man. You gotta be careful with what you say, man. All right. Does nobody understand though? Like, those guys had to make a hard decision.
Yeah.
That committee, that's a hard job. They had to make that hard decision. The quarterback went down. Is that the same offense without him? If anybody's seen that quarterback run around all season, not saying that he was everything, but that +1 run game, bro, is hard to defend. And now he's gone. You know, and when Jamel, we got friends on that staff.
Yeah, we got
so like CC, man.
See, baby.
It's messed up, bro.
All right, there we go.
Hey, yo, real talk. The way I see it, right? I try to live in a world of fairness. I know the world ain't fair, so I try to bring as much fair to the world as I can. Bama always in there, right? FSU done been down bad. They earned that.
Yeah, they earned
they earned that. So, and then they still won in the face of adversity because they could have packed it up for them last few games without that quarterback. They fought. They scrounged out wins. They earned the opportunity for their boys to be a part of the playoffs, to say we were a part of the national championship playoffs. We're going to go give it our best shot. Whatever they had to figure out, that coaching staff, coaches work hard, man.
True that.
Coaches work hard. I was telling Coach King before we started, I coached Pop Warner for a year, and that was hard. All right, it was 7-year-olds or 8-year-olds, and that was hard. Different type of hard, but it's hard to coach. So I could only imagine what it's like at that level, and then you lose your star QB, and you got to scramble now to still we want to make it, and they make it, and then you take it out their hands. Man, they had to figure something out different, man. They should have. I don't know if they should have did somebody make an executive decision. We're gonna have a 1-game playoff versus them and Bama, or something, to try to figure something out. Do something unprecedented outside of just telling them, no, you can't come in. I ain't like that.
They should have you present the case.
Yeah, that was actually damn good.
That was good.
Great. But I want
at Marlowe on Instagram, MARL0WE. Send me a message. Yeah, put me on a committee for next year.
That was good.
Here's the thing, too, man. The thing that I think people aren't really paying attention to, man. Like, we're talking about, like you said, battling through adversity, fighting, having a family, guys having each other's back, stepping up when the next person goes down. They did everything.
Right.
Everything.
Bro, I thought that was football, man. I thought that's what
football was supposed to be about. Right. And then for them to come and say, we didn't like the way you won.
Yeah,
listen, it don't got to look a certain way. Listen, you know just as well as I do, Coach, right? If your offense is struggling, and I'm not saying that your offense struggled at all, I'm just saying in general because you're an offensive guy.
Yep.
My defense has just got to make sure that we don't give up a lot, and offense just go out there and manage the effing game. You don't got to score points. Get 7 points in, get 14 points. Defense, go ball out, right? That's enough. You can win a national championship
That's
like that.
football, bro.
Yes, you
That's
can.
the 3 phases, complementary football. And when one side ain't being too complimentary than the other two, they got
That's
to pick
it.
up the slack. It happens all the time.
You are correct. You're not wrong. We used to say if we win the game 6-3, a win is a win.
And that's it.
A win is a win.
So what I deduce from all of this and from this conversation, the fiber of college football has really changed. Transfer portal, NIL, and now this committee, what they done did, some reevaluation needs to take place. Because
bro, you got so many people that never even touch the field, bro, making these decisions. Man.
Come on now. Come on.
There's too many hands in the pot.
Come on.
Way too many, bro.
I looked at the analytics and it shows that this team won't be able to get out
man.
of here with that, man.
Come on, man. And then, FSU plays, they're gonna play their bowl game. I guess they play in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
If they get rocked, then they're gonna say, "Oh, we told you so," but we don't want to hear that because
hear me on this though. Let me tell you how they did it. This is how LA did it. Do you think Georgia is a better football team than FSU?
Yes, I do.
You do, right? You do too, Coach, right?
Yeah.
Well, why in the heck is it that Georgia is 6 and FSU is 5?
Yeah, they went 1-6, bro. Sorry. They went 1-6.
And they put FSU at 5. They're not good enough to be 4, but Georgia, come on, bro.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
It's dirty. And what they did was they put them at 6, they put them at 5 to make sure they played against each other. So and when that does happen, when they get slacked, they go, "Oh, so we told you so."
But what you got to also understand is the variables, right? As a player, as a coach, they're not going to get up for that game the same way they would have got up for the playoff game. It's not even close. You could take the same exact people as 2 different teams that you would get in the playoff versus the team that you're going to get versus Georgia. So it don't even matter to me what happens in that game. That is not going to be an excuse or an explanation or a rationale as to why they had to be put in that game no matter what happened.
Yeah, and then you still have player sit-outs.
Oh,
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Oh, because hey, if I was going to the league or I had a chance, I'm not playing versus Georgia. I'm all right. Because that's a knockdown, drag-out game. That's a hard-hitting game. Anything can happen in that game. You playing against other NFL men. I'm screwed. It ain't worth it no more. I'm all right.
And it just takes too long to get to that point when you could be training, getting ready for the draft.
It's a whole month, coach.
Yeah, it's a whole month.
And then if you get hurt, your whole training is messed up now. Like you could forget it. You could be going from a 3rd round guy to a UFA guy.
Yeah.
You get the right injury.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No. I'm with Gil in the gym. Catch me out there on the field. I'm training.
But that's the thing. It's too many different variables.
Yeah, it's too many now. It's too many now.
Like we honestly, on this one subject, just one game, whatever it is, you could have so many different topics centered around this one game.
That's a great point, Coach.
And NIL, right? You freaking transfer portal, sit-outs, NFL draft. That this kid didn't pass this test. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much.
Let me get a head coaching job at like a Cortland or like one of them smaller schools.
I'm good.
Nice pay.
I'm good.
Nice corner of the country, Northeast. Nobody ain't checking for me. All right, let me rock out for a nice 12, 15 years. Hey, Coach, that's what I want for you, baby. Something nice. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yeah,
Trust me.
It's because it's turned into the Wild Wild West for real.
Crazy.
Nuts. Crazy. But Coach, man, I know it's a beautiful thing, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being on the show. I'm thankful that that God allowed us to kind of cross each other's paths and continue to cross each other's path. I know we're gonna get up in a few weeks, right? We're going down to Texas. We go get some food and chill out. It's Texas, right? That's where we gotta go, or Tennessee. Where we gotta go?
Tennessee, Nashville.
Hey, for everybody listening, man, this is the Cerebral Sports Podcast, man. Thank you so much again, Coach King, for being on. Mar, co-host, the best co-host out there. We're gonna continue to get this thing moving. We're gonna continue to get this thing rocking. We're gonna get some more athletes, some more coaches on here to share their perspective, tell their stories. Right, it's very important that we have a platform for these coaches to tell their stories, and we're really happy that everyone here had a chance. We got a chance to connect, man, and we're thankful. And
Great
wish
episode.
you nothing but the best, man.
Great episode, man. Y'all listen to this. Y'all follow us on all the platforms, your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, your YouTube. Check us out, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. This is healthy content, man. Stay locked in with us, man.
No doubt. Thank you guys for having me, man. This was a blast, man. I love it.
There we go. 1 second.